was Welcome to the Odyssey. So there are many things in the movie industry that fall under what we call movie magic. So, you know, all the things that were, it's how did they get that on screen? How did the actor end up looking like that or perform like that? And what we'll be looking at mostly today is where did they get that sound from? So this is something I've always wondered. I mean, there's like all the things I just talked about, all of these questions I've always used to wonder as growing up. I love the way movies are made and just movies in general and just all the science behind it and how technology has really grown over the year to improve on a lot of this stuff. So we're going to look at this video. This one is called, This is How Movie Sounds Are Made. And the thumbnail alone is awesome. I look forward to seeing how this is. And we'll talk about that a little bit more after we've digested this video here. And do be sure to support the official release. The link to the original video will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's jump in. Oh yeah!
Hello everyone.
Tony Stark!
Do you know how to create the atmosphere of a good movie? First, you need a talented director, a cameraman and a scriptwriter, and some great actors to do their best. But then what? Turns out that the production of the film doesn't end here, because it has to go through the sound department first. Not only to dub the voices of the protagonists when necessary, but to give sound to the objects. After all, the
I want to be a voice actor so bad.
Speech of actors can't record, for example, the sounds of a busy street or the sound of horse hooves. Otherwise, it would be a terrible disaster. That's why sound recording experts, also known as Foley artists, come to the aid of the film industry and do their magic. These are the tools of these guys.
A true
device
art,
to
man.
watch the film already shot, a good microphone, and their imagination.
Oh,
So
yeah.
in today's video, we'll show
Movie
you
making
the
is an
incredible
art.
ways
It's-
sound
it
effects
without a
are
doubt
made
is.
in movies. Let's get it on.
So it was Finding Dory,
Star
Life of a
Wars.
Pet.
What do you need
and
to
Marvel
reproduce
movies
the
in
sound
general.
of little BB-8 sliding through the desert? A bunch of cuteness and some sand? Almost. Look, you really need
I love
some
that movie.
sand and a disco ball? It's not a joke, because that's how the sound was created,
Really?
which can be heard in the movie The Force Awakens. The main thing
Okay.
is to rotate the ball at the right speed, which doesn't seem to be a problem for sound experts. While you're imagining a
sense.
disco droid at an intergalactic party, we'll reveal the secret of the special sound that accompanies every stormtrooper's move. Apart from the pew-pew, which never kills anyone, you must remember the specific sound of these characters' space armor, right? Turns out that this girl is responsible for the sound, created with the help of a motorcycle helmet, roller skates, and a leather jacket.
Yo!
We put it all together, shake it up, and the perfect soundtrack is ready for the next
I'm not even
part of the space
surprised.
saga.
That's crazy.
Marco Costanzo. Another true
Some of these are
professional.
so simple.
Marco has worked on so many famous films, cartoons, and series that we would need a whole video to include.
I love
them
Fifth
all.
Element.
If you're interested,
Love that
you can
movie.
look on the internet and you'll have many hours of fun. Marco can use leaves to make you believe that an evil witch is doing witchcraft. Or hit the ground with 2 coconuts to imitate a real horse. A horse with coconuts. Well, sounds pretty
A
weird,
coconut
but
horse.
as you can see, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
What about when there's a fight on the screen? One character hits another character's head against a metal wall. This happens all the time. For these situations, Marco brings an iron box and a roll of tape.
Yeah. Of course, some sounds are just exaggerated,
I would have
but
thought that these
movie
materials
magic.
sound exactly like a human head being beaten. But we don't recommend our viewers to check the similarity of that sound.
Yeah,
at
don't do
home.
that. Mythbusters
You
already
better
did
use
it.
a friend.
Check
Oh,
Mythbusters.
obviously, that was a joke. Lord of the Rings. To be honest, we're not sure that these guys were involved in the creation of Peter Jackson's famous trilogy, but they still managed to recreate the sound of one of the scenes from The Fellowship of the Ring. Maybe the director should invite these talented artists for his next film, especially since they're only 2 people. They did all the effects together and recorded them in one shot. The crunching of the paper, the sound of the footsteps, and the barely audible crunching of the fabric. Even a seemingly simple sound like a tap on the shoulder was also recreated.
Wow.
And all of this with surprising synchronicity. If these guys were expert swimmers, they definitely have some kind of Olympic medal. And although humanity has not yet invented a sport like crunching paper in sync with a serious face, it's nice to watch and enjoy the magic of
That
cinema
has to be
in
a
action.
great job
And we're
too,
not
just to make the
talking about
sounds.
Gandalf's pranks.
I would love that job
Robin
too.
Hood. There are a lot of films about Robin Hood, and we certainly won't be able to reveal all of their secrets, so let's take a closer look at the 2010
Never saw it.
film
It looked interesting, though.
adaptation. Russell Crowe, Kate Blanchett, and a manually dubbed weapon of the protagonist. Turns out that if you press the Sai, the Ninja Turtle Raphael's sword, against the hilt of a real sword, you can get a sound of a medieval weapon.
What?
And if you crumple a leather bag really well, it'll be the perfect sound of the protagonist's clothes. But our most favourite is the sound made by Russell Crowe pulling the sword out of its scabbard, because in order to get this sound, the Foley artist touches the blade with a metal kitchen spatula. Spatula,
Ooh.
Carl? Probably
That's
all
music
the
to my
forks
ears,
were
though.
broken,
Like,
but it's
sword,
just amazing.
sword
You have to
sounds.
agree.
Woo!
The sound of the horse is also very cool,
Hurts a little bit at the same time, though.
including not only the clatter of hooves and the
What?
sound of harnesses,
It's all
but
about
also its
timing,
heavy
too.
breathing. And with different
Yo.
intonations. Can you do that? Well, Foley artists can.
Not me.
The Hobbit.
The lining,
Do
too.
you know how
Like,
to
that's
record the
cool that
sound
they
of a
help you
panicked crowd,
do that.
often used in many movies and big productions? If we're talking about a Hollywood blockbuster, then there will necessarily be a crowd of frightened people moving away from the danger while they scream.
What movie is this?
In The Hobbit, we found such a scene.
Oh,
It turns
that
out
was that
in order
volcano
to
movie.
record the screams of the frightened
Dante's
residents
Peak.
of the town of Vale,
And the other one was World War Z. I don't know what this one is,
who were
though.
fleeing from Smaug, the
Oh,
relatives
Lord of
and
the Rings.
friends of the people working on the film were invited in. And in our humble opinion, they did a great job.
That had to be fun.
Especially this guy
I would've
who
loved doing
moves his
that.
arms. It's hard to imagine what the locals thought when they heard these heartbreaking screams on a sunny summer day. However,
Just like
they are
slowly
probably
open the
used to
window.
it, because all 6 films from
Someone
Tolkien's
dying out there?
universe were shot in New Zealand. After this, they will most likely not be surprised at all. Not even at a client with pointy ears or a group of orcs getting tanned.
Oh, man.
Jurassic World. Movies about huge dinosaurs trying to eat the protagonist will never be the same for you if you see how the
Love
growth of
Jurassic
these
World.
creatures is created. Obviously, you can't record them live unless you have a time machine to quickly get back to the Mesozoic.
mad they didn't have the
No
T-Rex
wonder
original
filmmakers
roar in
had
it,
to
though.
resort to the most unexpected tricks. For example, recording the sound of big machines at factories, and then combining these mechanical sounds with the grunting of lions, ostriches, and even monkeys. In addition, the pigs also found work in the studio, and these animals helped create the roar of the legendary T-Rex.
Yep. They mixed together a
For
bunch
some
of
reason,
animals.
it doesn't sound so scary when you know that these are the voices of a couple of modern beasts, transformed
Nah,
with all
bruh.
kinds of music software. By the
I'm
way,
still
the
scared.
sound made by the closing jaws of a huge dinosaur is created by quite harmless celery crunch, and potential
That makes
lunch
sense.
is broken in
Yeah.
half.
Because the
Man of
T-Rex,
Steel.
it's like a bear,
What do you
alligator,
think you have
tiger.
to
It's like a
do so
mixture
that
of
the
all these
viewers
meat
hear how
eaters.
Superman's
Why wouldn't you
stylish
be
red
scared?
boots step on the ice covered with snow. No, don't get your winter shoes and ice cubes out of the refrigerator. Some of the most common sand, a film, and ordinary boots on the feet of a sound expert. And even if this idea seems absurd to you,
Nah, that
believe
makes
us,
sense.
while watching the movie you definitely won't notice any difference.
Similar
Actually,
textures.
this sand is a good friend of the famous Kryptonian throughout the whole movie. For example, to create the sound for his epic landing, you just have to pour it on a small empty suitcase, and then hit it with a baseball bat with all
That
your
scene
strength.
was so good. I like that scene a lot.
Bang!
Yo.
And then again, bam! And sprinkle a little sand on top. We're very interested in how sound designers came up with such an interesting solution for Superman.
Trial and
how
error.
many suitcases they might have tried. But this is likely to remain their professional secret. But making his
Yeah.
flight is much easier. You just need to wave a piece of suitable fabric in front of the microphone. A red one, preferably.
Of course. It has to be red, man. He got red and black. He's a little bit of a rebel.
Stefan Fraticelli. Meet Stefan Fraticelli, one of the best sound experts in the world. He lives in Canada and is a lucky person with a job that everyone envies. He has a keen ear and a great imagination and works as a sound designer, creating a lot of realistic sounds using improvised elements. In more than 15 years, his recording studio, Audio Studio, has worked on several feature films, series, and video games, including Silent Hill, 500 Days of Summer, Silver Linings Playbook, and Prison Break. But listening to Stefan is not as interesting as watching him work. This sound wizard has an account at Instagram where he regularly posts new videos with a variety of sound effects. For example, Stefan eats a carrot to imitate the sound of a horse, and chews cabbage with as much pleasure as a zombie who's found his dinner.
People like
In
Mr.
the
Bean a
recording
little bit
studio,
there.
You can find a lot of different accessories that are used in the most unexpected ways. Comb a wig with a brush? Why not? Run a guitar pick through a bicycle wheel? No problem. We especially like Stefan's face in all these videos. How does he manage to stay so serious? Alan.
Because he loves his job.
You can think anything you want about the Alien franchise. You can adore the old ones and hate the new ones.
I'm not a big fan of gore. I can't stand gore.
But hardly anyone will argue that the sound in each film
It's
is
like
simply
psychological.
stunning.
It just...
And of course, we're not talking about the music, but about
cringe.
everything that growls, creaks, squelches, champs, and breaks.
I did see this first movie, though.
The same goes for Alien video games, and in general for all that's related with these alien
I
monsters.
do want to play
sound that
Isolation,
makes
though.
noises.
It looks so good.
And now, attention, let us tell you a secret. The famous sound of the bloodthirsty aliens, which you could well remember from the game, is garlic in a sock. Honestly, we're
What?
not kidding. This is real garlic.
Basically, crunchy, grinding noises.
Okay.
And the blood of the xenomorphs, capable of corroding everything in the world, hisses with the sound of Coca-Cola stirred with a hot soldering iron.
I mean, it's a fire hazard, but
Don't try
I
to
mean, it's a
repeat
fire
that.
hazard, but I would still do it.
However, the steps of the characters are not a big mystery. If everything is in order on the spacecraft and no one has eaten anyone, then you can walk on the shower tray. But if the situation becomes tense, it's time to use your feet to squash some juicy fruits.
Yo, that'd be... I would love to do that. Like, if I couldn't get a job as a voice actor,
And try to
I
guess
would do
which
that
object
next.
is used for the crunching sound of the unfortunate crew members.
Oh.
Well, of course, it's celery.
Let me rephrase
so
that.
if you can't find a celery in the nearest supermarket, then probably there's a movie being shot somewhere in the neighborhood.
art designer.
Do you know any
Art
surprising
designer
secrets
first,
about the
voice
film
actor,
industry?
sound
Be sure to share your
guy.
knowledge in the comments, and don't forget to give us a like. Amazing gadgets, upcoming technologies, incredible inventions, and other cool stuff related to high tech on TechZone. Subscribe, you won't regret it. The link is on the screen and in the description.
Thanks for watching.
Tech is getting
Please
intense.
like and share the video in social networks, and we'll be right back to you as fast as we can.
That was really cool. Just seeing the simplicity of actually doing it. Figuring out is one thing, but actually just doing it and having the timing to go with it, that's another. And that is so cool. You know, that's another great aspect of people just enjoying their job. You know, you just go in, make some sounds, time it correctly, get the correct things to do that also. And just to say before, that would be third. That'd be my third job that I would like to have if I was in that type of work. The first one would definitely, I had to restructure this list. The first one would have to be I'm one of the designing artists, so I put together like designs for the characters and stuff like that for a video game or a movie or whatever. The second one would be the voice actor, but voice actor is a close second. Like, I kind of feel like I'd want to be a voice actor more so, or do both. I don't know if you can hear someone's car is going off right now, but whatever. And then the sound artistry, like that's so cool. It's all in art, music, magic. Movie magic is so awesome, and I look forward to doing more videos like this in the future. I think I'm gonna make a movie playlist where it's just talking about music, movies and stuff, and I think I might call it Movie Magic or something. We'll figure it out. So let me know if there's any other content you'd like to see from me regarding this type of stuff or anything that is on my channel in general. I love it when you guys engage in the comments. Let me know if things to do in the future. Let me know what you felt about the video here. Did anything surprise you about how certain sounds are made, especially in certain movies you may love? So there we go. I do other things on this channel as well, from video games. Oh, excuse me. I don't do video games on this channel anymore. I do them on my other channel, Ready Set Win. I do on this channel reactions, art videos, and podcasts and stuff. So I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, do be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until the wind hits us yet again, I will see you all in the next Odyssey. I'm out of here. Later days.